Good evening, boils and ghouls. Gather round. I've got a wicked little story to tell. Two young missionaries, one very interested man. A conversation about God that goes straight to hell. Tonight, we're talking about Heretic. Heretic is a 2024 psychological horror film from A24. And I'm going to be honest with you, I wasn't really expecting this one. It kind of snuck up on me. It's kind of like that one movie, The Invitation. One minute you're having a friendly, honest conversation with your friends after dinner, and before you know it, you're 3 shots deep watching somebody die because your friends are actually cult freaks. Now, that's not the premise of this film, but it definitely hits like that. The film follows 2 young missionaries who are attempting to convert people to the Church of Latter-day Saints. On their route, they visit the home of a man who seems interested in learning more about their faith. At first, everything seems normal. It's a polite convo, questions about belief, the kind of interaction they've come to expect with doing the work of the Lord. Then Reed, the man, even goes so far to tell them his wife is baking a blueberry pie in the kitchen, making it seem even more cozy once they've entered his home. Pie. The small talk starts to strain. The questions start to get sharper and the comments start to feel weird. This plus the fact that his wife hasn't brought the pie. You'll get your rent when you bring me that damn pie! It's starting to make things feel really uncomfortable. Then Reed leaves, and rather than sit and stay, the girls cue each other that it's time to go. And here's when you start to feel it too. That first real pang of fear. What felt cozy and safe now feels tight and controlled. Doit. Doit like a toiga. And you know now shit's about to hit the fan. This is what I love about this type of horror. When I was watching it, I was already locked the fuck in, and I felt trapped too. Movies that not only show you, but help you really feel that tension are really the best kind of watches. And to be real, it's such an easy trap to fall into. We've seen it time and time again. The witches from Hansel and Gretel, meeting the family and Get Out. I bet that that's what the first Diddy party must have been like. At first, you're just there having a good time, chilling, and then you turn left and see a mountain of lube. Not that kid in there. Anyway, so yeah, the doors won't open. And the windows in the house are about the size of a Chihuahua's doggy door, so they won't be climbing out of them. When Reed returns, he just casually strolls back in like everything's normal. Smiling, just hosting his little tea session, and you're like, shit. Before we continue, you think you could open that door though? Before the girls even get to express that kind of feeling, Reed shows them a blueberry scented candle he had been burning. There was no pie. You're a fucking liar, Reed. How dare you? And the girls are like, nah, gotta go. This is the brilliance of Heretic. It's a slow burn that gets under your skin. From the first knock on the door to the moment that you realize this is a trap. The movie is able to build up that tension in a way that is equal parts fascinating and terrifying. So here we are at the beginning of the worst case scenario. All the doors to the outside are closed. So where do we go from here? Deeper inside, naturally. And even more naturally, it turns out that Reed knows a hell of a lot more about theology than he let on. So much so that he begins lecturing the girls about how all religions are just iterations of earlier ones. Basically trying to break their belief system. I mean, come on, what kind of sick, sadistic fuck spends their time preying on young adults, pretending he's an authority, dropping pseudo-statistics, trying to indoctrinate them by misleading them with cherry-picked facts and half-truths to try to change their worldview, only to get murked in the end? Too soon? They already had the fireworks show. Soon after, he tells them if they want to leave, they'll have to choose what they're going to do after hearing them speak. Which path will they walk? The path where they still believe, or the one where they don't? And it's not just an existential question, it's a literal choice that will likely determine whether or not they get out of this house. From here, the movie has you by the balls. Are you going to get out? What are you going to say? Are you going to give up your core beliefs for a glimmer of hope? Or do those core values inherently drive the idea that hope lies within them? Does it even matter? In the grand scheme of things, I'd say the best course of action is to say whatever you're going to say with your whole chest. Because the real answer might just be that fortune does indeed favor the bold. So this movie does a lot of things to bring terror, and that's driven home by the quality of acting. Hugh Grant is really good at playing a nice guy. And in this performance, he puts his acting chops on display because he becomes one of the most unsettling characters of recent memory. It's a very grounded performance that isn't over the top. He's calm, polite, charming even. Dude's like 007, James Bond, but he has to return some videotapes. And that's the key. He isn't over the top. He doesn't need to be. That's quiet confidence. That's the scary part. Sophie, Thatcher, and Chloe East absolutely deliver as the missionaries. The majority of this movie relies on the dialogue. Their ability to emote within the conversations and build tension and react in real time are all necessary to build that real immersion experience. There are tons of horror movies that scrape by with weak performances and force the plot to do the heavy lifting. This is quite the opposite. It's lifted up by realistic characteristics that are played very well, and the dynamic between the two girls really brings it all together. If you're the type of person who wants to watch horror that actually makes you think, this is for you. This is a psychological horror film that doesn't ignore the traditional scary elements, but it doesn't rely on them either. It's the kind of film that will make you feel uncomfortable. It may even make you question a few things. And once you get it started, it's such a great watch. So yeah, if you're ever in a situation where you are knocking on somebody's door trying to sell an idea and they invite you in to their cozy little cottage for a piece of pie, maybe just stay on the porch. Trust me. If you love horror and you enjoyed this content, please make sure you like and subscribe. I've got plenty more on the way, and your support for this channel means the world to us. Stay tuned, and I'll catch you down the road.